What's up, everyone? Thanks for tuning in. So this is going to be a review of my 2006 Dodge Ram 1500 Mega Cab two-wheel drive. Now, if you're watching this is good. I no longer have this truck. I have the opportunity to upgrade, and yeah, so there isn't any real huge negative reasoning why I got rid of this truck. It's just upgrade. And let's see here. I'm going to start this off traditional. Pretty much I'll give you guys the stuff that I like about this truck, the things I don't like about this truck, and like an overview of like what I suggested, what I buy it again if I had the chance to, and so on and so forth. So quick overview. 2006 Dodge Ram 1500 Mega Cab. It has a 5.7 liter Hemi, the Magnum, which I believe is the first gen Hemi. It's rated at 345 horsepower with 375 foot-pounds of torque. It's mated to an automatic 5-speed 5 RFE transmission. This truck is a 1500, but it sits on a 2500 frame. So it has the rear. Oh yeah, I got notes. It's a 10.5 rear with 410 gears in the rear, which is nice. I actually wanted to drop 456 gears in the rear, but I believe I haven't towed with this truck yet. I've had this truck less than a year. I had it at 134,000 miles on it when I got it. It's at like 139 right now, so about 6,000 miles onto it, and like zero major mechanical issues or anything. This truck's never left me stranded nor given me any signs of sweating bullets, whether or not I was going to make it home or not, except for one occasion, but that was more due to weather. But even then, we got through it. Long story short on that, basically, my now fiance, we were in Flagstaff, Arizona, and winter storm hit pretty bad. Black ice, snow everywhere. This being two-wheel drive, I didn't have any weight in the bed because we were traveling, and the only best thing I can do for weight was just put a full tank of gas into it, which is, in my opinion, not enough to get sufficient grip in the rear. Thankfully, this truck, I got it and it had all-terrain tires on it, and they're not the best, but they work. They would be a lot better than if they had street tires on it or summer tires. We got out, so got stuck in black ice and with zero traction, but was still able to get out of there due to, I don't mean to toot my own horn here, but I know how to drive in snow, and I had some proper tools for me to be able to dig out where I needed to dig out to be able to get traction to get back into Flagstaff. So during that time, all the motels and hotels raised their prices to ridiculous prices. So my fiance and I went to a local Walmart, got a twin size inflatable mattress, and folded down these rear seats here in the Mega Cab and made it work, and it worked perfectly. We got a good about 4 or 5 hours of sleep before the snow plows were able to clear out the interstate, and we were able to head back home. So Mega Cab portion obviously is a huge win, especially for this chassis. Speaks for itself. That's a huge plus in this truck. Now you guys are wondering, oh, the 5.7, that must have sucked in this truck, it being so big and everything. Not really. I believe the 410 gears help with that. It doesn't feel like you're driving a truck that's struggling, that's for sure. I've driven the 4.7 liter ones in a normal 1500 quad cab, and that literally felt like it was, struggling's the wrong word, but underpowered, if that makes sense, like for the size and for the power and all that stuff. I know some of you guys might disagree, but like there was never a time I was driving this big truck and felt that the 5.7 stock was not enough, especially with the 410 gears. And I haven't towed with this, but I'm not scared to tow with this, with the 410 as well. I mean, from what research I've done, I more than likely would have gone with the 456 gears because I wasn't planning on tearing in this engine anyway. The only thing I've really changed on this thing was the thermostat. I had the factory 203 thermostat, and I put the 180 degree. Haven't had any issues with that. Changed the radiator cap. And did one oil change, and that's pretty much it. So this truck, I know 2006, it was when MDS was implemented in the Rams, but this truck, since it being a 2006, I don't think the Mega Cabs got MDS. This truck does not have MDS, and it's a 2006. And there's a way to tell on the VIN number. I can't remember which is which, but if it starts with a D or an N, one of them will indicate whether you have MDS or not. Other than that, like, I like everything. I like everything about it. There's nothing like, I know one of the things I was worried about was with Dodge's renown for their terrible transmissions. This truck doesn't slip, and I live in a very hilly area. Like, I pretty much don't stop seeing hills until I pass like Albuquerque, New Mexico, if I'm heading east from here. And no slipping problems whatsoever. See, I never had experienced the Hemi tick. I was on schedule with the oil change on this thing. I was going to change the transmission fluid in this, but looking at the fluid, it's still like bright red. I mean, it wouldn't hurt doing one, but I never felt like I had any reason to do so. I mean, I definitely was going to do it once I hit like 140,000 miles. Once I put 7,000 miles, just for peace of mind. It probably wouldn't even need it that then. But yeah, didn't experience a death wobble that most people talk about. I mean, I'll get into that in the negatives, but other than that, guys, like this truck, there's everything that you would need like a utility truck to do if 4-wheel drive and constant towing of like trailer stuff to where like a diesel would be needed. This truck will be able to do it all for you. If you live in an area where snow or rough terrain is not an issue, this truck's perfect. The 5.7 is not underpowered in the mega cab at all. So I'll start talking about the little nitpicky negative stuff I don't like about this truck. So AC blows cold for sure, but it being so big and then it having the rear AC back here, like at full blast, like I don't feel like there's enough airflow. Like, I mean, the cabin will get cold, but I just feel like it takes longer for it to do so. Heating up, on the other hand, this truck gets hot pretty quick during wintertime. Another thing I don't like about the part of the AC thing is the ducting. It's very limited on how far you can like turn your duct work for the AC to face you left and right and up and down. That just may be me, but like any further, I'm more likely gonna end up breaking it, so breaking the fins or whatever. So that's one thing I don't like about this truck. The handling, hitting bumps. Like I thought hitting bumps in my car, on my slam cars sucked. Hitting bumps in this truck really sucks without the worry of bottoming out or whatever, breaking anything, because I know it's built tough underneath. But like, I know it's a truck. It wasn't supposed to be like the most comfortable. It's not a luxury car by any means, but that's like the one thing, hitting a bump or whatever, like it gets pretty sketchy. Let's see here. Other than that, I mean, that's pretty much it. Like, there's nothing too much about this truck I don't really like. That's just like nitpicky stuff. I still have the stock radio. I know everybody likes changing up to like double DINs, touchscreen, stuff like that. And usually, if you knew me personally, I would have been all about that, and that probably would have been the first modification I've done. But stock radio still works. Everything works. The sound speaker, like, it's not like you're not going to be winning any classes at some, you know, like stereo competition or whatever. But it works for what I needed to do. The spacing here, like, yeah, nothing to complain about. Like, all around, this is a good truck. So I know I didn't mention any negatives. I didn't really like give an order of it, but I didn't own this truck long enough to find its weak points, or I got lucky enough and just the way I am and how I take care of my vehicles just ended up proving how reliable these can be if treated right. So would I recommend it? Yes, totally. If you live in an area to where you don't plan on taking this truck to like crazy, you know, overland situation, or like, you know, you don't live in a place to where it snows 24/7 or black ice you got to deal with, like, even then you can do so with this truck. You can make it work if you have chains, or they even make this thing for the bed where it's basically a huge bladder that fills the bed, and it can add if you fill it up with water, it adds like about 300 to 400 pounds of weight in the back of the bed, which I'm sure helps. But yeah, 5.7 rear wheel drive. Do I have any problem? Do I think it can't tow? I'm sure it can tow without any problems. I can't figure out what the towing rating is. I believe it's like 7,000 or 8,000 pounds. 6.5 foot bed, more than enough room for what I need. Like, this truck all around is good to go. I would buy it again. So I don't know. I'm sure they do, but if they made a 4-wheel drive 5.7 version of this truck, I probably would get that. I don't know if they do or not. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. I know they make a lot of diesel 4x4 mega cab and stuff like that, but with my life and the stuff that I do, and I'm sure there's guys in the comments that'll disagree with this, there's no room in my life financially as well as like practically for a diesel in my life. Like, I'm not going to be towing 24/7, and when I do, and then cost of maintenance on it, cost of parts, and I get it. Like, you'll fix one thing, whether it be like the injectors or whatever, or, you know, and you'll be good to go for the rest of the life of the truck. It's like, I don't want to have to deal with that. Especially my one turning point for not getting like a Cummins, which I love the Cummins, but I just keep hearing way too many negative things about the automatic transmissions. Like I did have an opportunity to possibly even just look at a 6-speed, I believe it had the G56 trans hooked up to a Cummins, but that sold, which is pretty obvious. It sold pretty quick. That's the only route I would go with if I went with a Cummins later on in the future. But I have no reason to go from gas to diesel at this moment in time, and I believe this truck's good to go. The one huge negative on it, which is it's kind of weird, it is a negative, but if you're buying a truck for gas mileage, then that's a really bad decision. I don't think there's any truck that you're going to get for good gas mileage. So around town, I get about 10.5 miles per gallon. On the highway, the best I've got driving to Phoenix was about, I believe, about 18.5 miles per gallon, which still sucks, but I mean, it's a lot better than it is. Like I can get about 300-400 miles on one tank. I mean, I never ran this thing super empty before, but like that's how far I probably could push it if I really needed to. I hit about like 350, 360, 360 miles before I had to fill up. So, and overall, it's not that bad. I mean, obviously, it's going to be expensive, but that's just, you know, that's just the name of the game. That's about it. If you guys have any questions, ask me in the comments below. I'll answer as fast as I can when I can. Ask me down there. Hit me up on my Instagram account, Asian_Zensation. I can answer your questions there too. And hopefully you guys get to see what I traded this truck in for. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.